to do by 11 o'clock. I want to feel heard. My feelings won't be hurt if you have to leave earlier. All right, let's go. I started the recording. And let's come to our neutral position, bringing yourself to the very edge of the chair as we're sitting here. And that very edge is literally the very edge. So that's your, like, just a tiny bit of movement of the hips, and you're kind of almost sliding over your sit bone. In my case, the glutes are still, and should be in your case also holding on you, so you're not like just sliding off. But you should have that sense that you're really at that edge of the cliff, not in a scary way, but in a way that it brings more freedom into your upper body to be able to not collapse and round back, but to have that stimulation of tilting forward. And therefore, naturally, your feet also have a little more pressure on the floor to stabilize. And that's where you're able to support a nice fluid back that is long, rising up with its natural curves, especially through the low back, which is what we need to have full range of motion and fluidity as we move the spine around. You want to give that freedom back to your body, to the ability to move in ways that it's been made for, instead of being stuck into tightness and stiffness. And we bring the feet hip distance apart so that the knees also come to hip distance apart. In order to achieve this, you make sure that your feet are parallel. If you start opening your feet out, you're losing the connection of the alignment of knees, hips, and then feet. So look down as needed to make sure that's what's happening, that your feet are not only hip distance apart, but they're parallel. And then the other thing here that is quite important is that you want to spread the weight throughout your feet evenly, from the front of the feet, the back of the feet, the sides, inner and outer sides of the feet. And so therefore, to be able to achieve that, you make sure that your feet are not curled under, like back toward the chair, because now you're on the ball of the feet. Neither they're sliding forward past the alignment right underneath the knees, that in that case, the weight is shifting to the heels. So you want your heels and your ankles to be right under your knees, which creates a 90-degree angle between the shin bones and the floor. And from this position that hopefully you all got, we rest the hands on top of the lap and we close the eyes. Maybe you tweak a little bit your head front to back, side to side, a little movement here to find the right spot right in between. And then we settle here for a bit. We start this practice bringing mindfulness into the picture. And mindfulness has become this like trendy word that some people still, or a lot of people still, are trying to wrap their mind around and kind of try to capture what it really means. But in this case that we're working with, the mindful movement is bringing your mind attention fully into your body and the movement of your body, instead of letting your mind go onto to-do lists and what's coming next and what you did yesterday. You're bringing all your attention, all your alertness to the present moment and what your body is experiencing. And when I say the body, it includes also the breath. The breath being a big, big component of moving mindfully, gracefully, and with ease and comfort. So let's go on to that breathing, and not that you're controlling and trying to make a specific effort to breathe in a specific way, but I want you to observe, to simply watch, simply feel the breath. And again, I'm reminding you, try to breathe through the nose only. And start experiencing the sensations of the breath. Whether you start by sensing the breath at the very beginning when it enters your nostrils, and therefore feeling your nose through the breathing pattern. But eventually, when you get that first access, you start feeling how the breath goes into the body and has its own shape as on the inhale, you feel an expansion, a balloon effect of the breath throughout the chest into the rib cage. And that's a good opportunity to follow the breath and see how deep the breath goes, how deep your breath container is. And you'll reach a point, obviously, at the end of the breath in, at the end of the inhale, that you cannot breathe any further in. And naturally, that's when the exhale starts. And the exhale has a different quality, a different texture, a different set of sensations attached to it. So watch that breath and let that breath take you into your own body, not in mind, not in your neighbor's body, in the experience of how it feels for you in your own limbs, in your own torso, in your own neck and head today. Now, when we start having a connection to the body and to the breath, also automatically comes the connection that we have with our environment. So you start sensing that you have a support underneath your feet, a support underneath your sit bones, that you have a sense of maybe lightness around the head as the rest of the body is fully supported. And that lightness expresses that you feel maybe your head a little more floating into the space around, where there's no constriction, there's no external support against the head. And same with the sensation along your arms. You feel the resting of the hands on your lap, which allows your arms to hopefully rest a little heavier and more relaxed from the shoulders down. And if, like you, your arms are exposed, meaning that you have either tank top or a short sleeve t-shirt, you might start sensing the sensations of the skin in relationship to the environment. In my case, I have a ceiling fan right above me, and I can clearly feel the sensation of the air against my skin. And now we are in the body. When you start capturing all those different sensations in different areas of the body, that's when you start leaving the head space and go into the body, which again is needed to mindfully move. And let's open the eyes and let's start moving our bodies in any ways that the body wants to move. So especially in the morning, there's a tendency to want to stretch, like see when a cat or dog gets up from sleeping, there's that natural sense of I need to stretch out. So find that inner sense of stretching and exploring how it feels to stretch, not only within the little body here, but in the spaciousness of the body, stretching your hands, your arms, out and away and back, and allowing your head to follow and rolling around. And then also, as you connect to your legs, one leg at a time, stretch the leg out as you press through the opposite leg and feel stable on your chair. You can add the arms into the movement of that leg. And then you step down, and then you go into stretching the other leg out and the foot. And step down again. And let's now go into more conventional, more structured shoulder rolls. And breathe all along. Really welcome a deeper, a broader breath into your movement. And reverse, roll the shoulders the opposite direction. And release the movement of the shoulders in such manner, and bring your left hand down on top of the left knee and bring your right arm into swing movement. And again, that's where it helps not having an arm to the chair, because you can swing the arm really close in to completely relax it. But obviously, if you have an arm, that doesn't prevent you from doing the movement. You just step your arm a little further away and you swing it in an angle here. If you're in this position in an angle, make sure you keep your shoulder down and relaxed as much as possible. Let's do it a couple more times. And then stretch forward and up. Stretch, expand, press into the left hand, press into the feet. You're not really, even though you see my head leaning a little bit to the left, just creating space, I'm not tilting out to the left. I'm stretching straight up. And then relax down. Right hand goes on top of the right knee. And let's swing the left arm forward and back. And breathe into swing of the arm. Keep your elbow relaxed, your hand relaxed. And next swing forward, stretch up and stretch tall through the whole left side of the body. Press down into the sit bones and lengthen up. And release down. Bring your right arm forward, swing it across. Now we're opening and closing the arm, so that's a different angle for the shoulder. From opening the front of the shoulder back and the pec, the pectoral muscle, and going the opposite way of spreading your right shoulder blade away from the spine and stretching into the back of the shoulder. Really go for it. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm literally slapping my hand to the outer left shoulder. And then we're gonna open it out and back and stretch, still facing the front. You're just trying to open from the right side of the chest to the right shoulder. You're pressing down into the left hand and pull back. And relax down. And let's go to the other side. Left arm forward. And we're going to swing that left arm open and close. Make sure your arm is parallel to the floor or about, meaning shoulder high. Because if you go down here, you don't have as much as an opening and stretch of the shoulder. So find that chest stretch from the sternum bone through the left pectoral muscle out to the front of the shoulder, and you feel it to the inner left arm. And slap it across. Find that momentum. And next one, slow down to open out and back, still facing the front, opening the chest, the arm, reach back, see how far back you can go. Maybe this side goes a little less back or a little more. Press into the right hand and release down. Rest the hands on top of the legs. Take a moment here, feel your arms, feel your shoulders. Opening your feet out. So you're going to start with toes out, heels out, toes out. We'll stay here. Ground yourself. And you're going to swing the right arm across, forward, open back, reach back, and switch. Left arm and rotate. And right arm and swing back. And left arm, and I don't know if you captured that, but my elbow is bent. And I'm just sliding that arm from across to on top of the head and behind, as if you were grabbing some kind of a fabric or a sheet in front of you and you wanted to cover yourself fully with that sheet. And then you take it from the other side, and you can, as you have that visual, you can use your hand to close your hand as if you were grabbing something. Press that hand tight and then open out to release. And then the other side, grab, bring it over and relax the fingers and swing. Grab and release and left and breathe. And now notice that the movement of the arm is possible in this wide range of motion because you're moving the chest and you're moving the spine. There's a rotation here. Now I'm adding the head, so I'm following the movement and looking back. So there's a little bit of a neck twist here. And last two. One on each side, to the left, out to the right, and to the right, out to the left, and hands to the knees. Shift and tilt your hips forward, and we're gonna go into that little twisting of the shoulders, forward and back. High twist, we're not going down, we're staying up. Just twisting, rolling one shoulder in and pushing it across. And you feel the effect on your back. So naturally, usually what happens is that you're exhaling as you twist across and you inhale as you release the twist to exhale to the other side. So that means that you can go a lot slower than I initially did, so that you have plenty of room here to become aware of your breath, of the flow of the breath in versus the flow of the breath out. Couple more. And come back to center, sit tall, stay in the same position. I'm readjusting a little bit my sit bones that might have rolled a little too far forward. Left hand on top of the left leg, right arm swings up. Now we're gonna lean over the left. So see, I modified the position of my elbow because my spine can go deeper than this upper stretch. So you can also, if you feel that you have a lot of room to play with, to go to the side and still using the support of the left hand, you rotate your elbow out, you bend and you pull and stretch out to the left elbow. So here what is important also, and I'll go sideways to show you, that the tendency can be that from here, you would be collapsing in your low back and try to bend over from here and you feel extra tightness and resistance right here. So you want to sit up, roll the hips forward so that you have that natural curve of the back that allows more freedom of movement to the spine. And then you stretch from that position of the spine. And now instead of feeling the stretch here, you feel it straight through the side of the body, from the outer right hip all the way to the rib cage into your right arm. And as if you were literally anchoring here a rope right here, and then you're pulling the rope out through your right hand and feel it tensing up all through the right side. And then breathe. Press into your left hand to rise back up. Come back to neutral, come back to not completely neutral in means of closing the legs, but to the initial position, to the origin of this movement. And let's go to the other side. Right hand on the right leg, left arm up. And you're gonna lean over to the right again. You can pivot that right elbow out if you know that you're gonna go deeper, because here you still have a sense and an action of supporting and modifying as needed the stretch. So you're not just relying on your ab and tensing up the side torso muscles. You want to go into a stretch where the muscles are as relaxed as possible, so you can get a major depth of side stretch. Breathe. And come back to center, pressing down into your feet. Realign. You're going to bring your hands together, clasp the fingers, push your palms out, stretch out. And we're going to bring the arms up. And as you bring the arms up, you tilt the hips forward. You bring the arms as far back. If they're coming right here, that's fine. That's your stretch. Also, another thing that you can do here is bend the elbow. That allows the shoulders to drop a little bit more, and that might give you a little deeper or wider range of motion. So stretch to your own ability. And then you're gonna exhale and drop the hands down, drop your head down, round the back. Inhale, circle out and up. Exhale, round back and in. Inhale, pull forward, stretch up. Exhale, round. And last, breathe in. And breathe out. Release the bind of your hands to the knees, toes in, knees in, heels in, knees out. Toes in, heels together, squeeze in. And then again, open the toes out, knees out. You can even use that, we did that last class, I believe. You use your hands to gently open the knees a little further out. Then you pivot on your toes and ball of the feet to bring the knees in. And now you can reach those knees in and feel the action on the side of the legs here. And then toes out, open the knees wide out. Feel the stretch to the inner thigh. And then heels out, knees in. Feel the stretch to the outer legs. And then heels in, knees out. Gently guide your legs to open out and stretch out a bit more. Toes in, press the knees in, feel the stretch to the other legs. And then bring the feet together and squeeze the knees, squeeze the ankles, squeeze the legs, squeeze the glutes. And relax. Last one. Toes out, open gently, push maybe apart your knees. Pivot on your toes, knees in, squeeze the knees in. Toes out, knees out. Use your hands to pull and stretch apart. Heels out, knees in, press the knees in. And that might be for those who have some hip issues. This is a really good movement, but it can feel a little awkward or even tense to sometimes achy. So honor also, if that's the case, watch out and make sure that you're not creating pain here. And then toes out, use your hands to pull those knees out. And last, coming back, toes in, pull the knees in. Heels in, open the knees out. Toes in and heels in. Squeeze, squeeze the legs, squeeze the knees, squeeze the ankles, squeeze the glutes. And relax. So here, we're gonna go and do some movements of those legs a little bit more. So here you have two options. Either you're able to cross the right leg over the left, or if you're not able to, you cross the ankles, but you keep your knees together. Other times, and we'll come to that after, you relax one leg out. In this case, I want you to squeeze in. So here or there. If you're up here, make sure you're not just collapsing and dropping everything to the right. Keep your left foot anchored and your leg is squeezing on top of the right. And then you're going to bring your arms forward. Cross the right arm on top of the left, and then either you grab the outside of the shoulders, or if you're able to, you cross even deeper and you grab your thumb and you make a pretzel with your arms. And from here or from there, we're going to squeeze the legs together, squeeze all the way to the butt cheeks, squeeze the belly and squeeze the arms together. And keep on breathing here. Take a couple of breaths where everything is deeply engaged and contracting in. And then relax. Soften the arms out. Release the legs out. Back to the legs together. And let's go to the other side. Bring your left leg over and on top, or your left ankle down, but squeeze the legs together. And here you're going to bring the arms forward. Bring your left arm crossing on top of the right. If your axis is here, hug yourself with your hands. If you're able to cross and wrap, you grab the thumb. And we're going to squeeze everything together. Squeeze, 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 all the way to squeezing your butt cheeks together. Squeeze your belly, squeeze the chest. You can even squeeze your face, but keep on breathing. And relax. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your legs, open toes out, heels out. Find your hip distance apart. Come back to your fully neutral position. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a moment here to feel the whole body. Deep, long breath in and out. Let's get into a little bit of those hips to find more or at least easier range of motion. So we're going to go into our spinal wave, starting with the hips and all around the low back and belly. We're going to rock the hips forward and back. Head and shoulders stay almost completely in position, meaning that they're almost staying still into the center. I'm not telling you to completely do that because that requires to isolate the movement even more, but that's what you're aiming to. That I'm going to go sideways because front plane, you might not see what I'm talking about. So from here, if you just do this, see my whole spine is moving, my hips are moving too, and that's a completely valid movement, but that's not the one we're doing right now. We're trying to isolate the movement from the waistline down. So therefore, in the ideal movement here, see my head is not moving, my shoulders are not moving, but my hips, my low back and my low belly are moving. If you're not able to isolate the movement completely, you might have a little movement forward and back, but shoulders and head stay in position in relationship to each other. There's no movement here doing this. And you're cranking the movement right down here, rolling your sit bones forward and back on the chair. As you're rolling your sit bones forward, you're getting even further to the edge of the chair. As you're rolling your sit bones back, you're rolling away from the edge of the chair. Now that hopefully we've all found some degree of movement around this area, localized to the low spine, then we go into the other range of motion that is taking the whole spine all the way to the head. Now we have a movement of the shoulders pulling back as we open the chest forward, and we have this arching of the back and rounding back, rolling forward and rounding and pulling the belly in as we roll back. Head is tilting up and away and down to the chest. And you allow your gaze to follow the movement of the head. So you're going kind of in a half circle from looking down, either to your belly or to the floor, to half a circle up to the ceiling, and half a circle down, and up, down, and two more. And coming back to neutral. Take a moment here, shake things out and off if you need to. And let's go now to a movement of the leg. You're gonna clasp your fingers and hands underneath the right leg. Make sure that you're not curling in. You're coming forward with that movement that we just warmed up with the rocking of the hips forward and sit bones back. Press into the left foot and shift back to lift the leg. And here we're gonna do a movement that I believe we haven't done this way before. You're gonna press, so flex the foot, press the foot down, and then slide away, lift up, and then push down, come forward, and roll up. So you're creating circles. Obviously, you don't have to go all the way up to here. That's my flexibility level. But you can do simply this. but still with the intention of creating circles with that right foot. And instead of relying just on the leg doing this, which requires a lot more complicated muscular action that can create tension, then you use your torso and your arms to create that momentum. Scoot forward and up and back. You're using your left foot to press down in the floor and rock you back, but also to give you more support as you're leaning forward. And last two. Come up and relax here. Relax your leg in, straight arms. Use the weight of your torso back. Hang out here and start rotating the right ankle. You can rotate one direction or the other because we'll do both. So start with whichever direction feels more natural to you without really trying to see how I'm doing it. You just rotate your foot around and reverse. Roll that foot the opposite direction. Really sink into your back body without rounding, but nice long back. And use the weight of the torso to keep your back. And release the rotation of the foot. And now we're going to open and close the leg. I'm going to face you for that one. You open and you close. And swing away and across from side to side. Couple more. Come back to center. You're gonna kick your foot away like a gunshot with your foot. You're gonna, or kicking into a door, like you wanna kick and open the door wide open. Flex the foot and kick. And relax, pull in. Exhale, kick. Pull in. Exhale, kick. Or shoot. Pull in and kick and relax. Pull in and kick and two more. Pull in and kick and last one. Pull in and kick and relax the foot. Lean forward to land the right foot down. Relax your hands, unwrap. Sit tall, readjust your sitting here. Make sure that you're realigning to your neutral position, that you haven't missed any part of that. And let's go to the other side where I'm going to turn to this side, but you stay facing the front so that you can see what I'm doing from side perspective. You're going to intertwine the fingers underneath the left leg this time, pressing into your right foot, extend the spine forward. See how I'm rolling the hips forward, tilting the tailbone back instead of struggling here with a rounded back. Push into the right foot and kick up and lift. Flex the foot, push down, roll forward and roll in. So creating those circles on this side and using the pendulum of the torso to support the movement of the leg. Again, your movement can be narrow here, but still using the tilting of the head, right? Not the head, the torso, back and forth. Or you can go wider and go a little broader in the movement. Or if you're really flexible, your leg can go higher. You pull it up. Kick the foot down and lift. Press down and lift. A few more. Find that momentum. Last two. And back to center. Shift your weight back, straight arms, use your torso to balance out the weight of the legs, so you're just hanging out here. Rotate your left ankle and left foot. And reverse. Stretch through the toes, stretch through the ball of the foot, stretch through the sole of the foot. So go really into your maximum expression of the stretch. Don't just like rotate, like watching me and like, okay, when is she gonna be done? Connect to your foot and feel the full range of motion of that foot. And relax the foot, still with your weight leaning back. You're gonna open and close the leg. Don't move, stay where you are. I'm just moving because ideally I would have like 2-3 cameras so you can switch from one angle to the other angle, but I'm not that high tech yet. If we keep on going with this crazy COVID situation, I might have to become super expert and have like cameras all the way to the ceiling so you can see me from above, from the floor, from the sides. But for now, I have to just move around. Couple more. Back to center. And this one, we're gonna kick the leg again as you're shooting your leg out like an arrow, or imagining you're kicking in a door. So really get strength in it. It's not just a shy kicking. If you had a really heavy door in front of you, to be able to open that door, you would have to really engage your full body into the pushing of the foot. So think about that action. Pull in, flex the foot and kick. And pull in and kick. And in and kick. And pull in, stretch out. Soft as you pull in and forceful as you kick out. And kick. And one more, pull in and kick. And relax the foot and relax the left foot down. Unwind the hands, come back to sitting. Make sure that your feet, your ankles are right underneath the knees. Your feet are parallel, as well as your knees, all this hip distance apart. And sit tall and rest. Maybe even close your eyes here. Take a nice mindful break where there's still a lot happening, because you can feel obviously your breath flowing. You're not holding it. There's no break for the breath to go. And you might also feel the quality of your heartbeat as we did this highly engaged, some forceful kicks and movements. You might feel a little accelerated heart, which always feels good to have a little cardio action here. Couple more breaths in and out. And opening the eyes again. Let's work with the abs now. So we work the upper body, the lower body, and let's work the core a little bit. So we're gonna start with a very simple breathing exercise that engages the belly. And then from there, we'll do a little more active, more parts of the body engaged. Hands to the low belly. And I'm gonna come closer to you so you can see the movement. So when I'm placing my hands on the relaxed belly, see the distance between my thumb, the distance between the index fingers, and even the other fingers. And so you're going to inhale and try to bring the breath all the way down to your hands. So see, there's a spreading. My belly is like this big. And then you exhale and you squeeze in. Inhale. Belly out. And exhale, squeeze in. Squeeze, this is my navel right here. And I'm squeezing towards the navel. And it's not my hand having the action of pressing in. is my breathing squeezing the belly in, and therefore my rested hands are coming in together. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it through the nose. Breathe in and out. Two more. Breathe in, expand out. Breathe out, contract in. And last one. Breathe in, expand out. Breathe out, contract in. And release your hands to your side. Come back to your normal breathing and feel the belly. Still breathing through the nose. So now we're going to add a movement of the legs here, but with the same action of the belly breathing. So you're going to inhale, inflate the belly out, pressing into the left foot. And you exhale as you squeeze the belly in, your right knee and right foot are going to lift up a bit. And you can, like me, keep your hands on your belly so you have that action of the belly. Inhale, bring the foot down, press into the left foot. Inflate the breath, spread the fingers apart. Exhale, squeeze in, lift the right knee up. Inhale, right foot down, belly out. Exhale, squeeze in, knee up, foot up. Breathe in, bring the foot down, expand the belly. Breathe out. As you keep on pressing in your left foot, lift the right knee up, squeeze the belly in. And let's do another 3 following your own breath. Maybe you're breathing faster than I am or slower. But make sure that the inhale is when both feet are down and the belly expand. And when you breathe out, the foot goes up and you squeeze the belly in. So inhale, feet down. Exhale, squeeze in and up. Find your core. And very last one, breathe in and breathe out. Release the right foot down, release your hands down to your lap, and take a moment to rest here. Hopefully you can hear me well because you can tell that there's some construction work outside. The microphone a little closer in. And let's go to the other side. Hands to the belly so we can still connect to the breath here. And you're going to inhale, stay where you are, expand the belly out. Exhale, press into that right foot to lift the left knee up as you squeeze the belly in. Breathe in, release down, expand the belly. Breathe out, lift the knee. Squeeze the belly in. Breathe in, foot down, expand the breath. Exhale, squeeze in, lift the knee and foot. 4 more. Breathe in, follow your breath. Really go to the maximum breathing capacity on both ends of the spectrum. Breathe out, squeeze in and tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the very last drop of breath out. Naturally, the inhale comes in, you lower the foot down. And squeeze in, exhale. And last move, inhale. And exhale, squeeze and lift. And release the foot down, release the hands to the lap. And let's give a little sway to the spine to relax the belly from side to side. And then from front to back, kind of a waving of the spine. And then hands to the knees, arch the back as we did before, but with the intention of stretching the belly. Pull the ribs up, stretch, stretch, stretch. And relax back to neutral. Take a moment here, feel your body, feel your breath, feel your belly. And let's go into another move that implies the belly, but the belly is going to act in a slightly different way with different layers of muscles engaging and a little deeper muscles, core muscles, a little deeper in. So you're going to press down into your left foot. That's going to free your right hip to slide back a little bit. And then you're going to lift your right knee up just a little bit. I'm like 1 inch above the floor. You can either bring your hands to the chair, to the arms of the chair, that helps you stabilize. You can keep them on top of the legs or on your belly. And you're going to circle that foot right above the floor. Create circles and feel the action on the leg. That is an obvious one. But feel the stabilizing action into your belly. And with your hands on your belly, you'll feel that the lateral muscles here are more engaged than the previous movement that we did. Because there's a movement of the leg that goes away from the body and back into the body. And keep on breathing here. Back to right above the floor in the center, and then drop that right foot down. Stretch the right leg forward, flexing the foot, left hand to the knee, right hand slides out, and stretch onto that right leg. The stretch here, as I described several weeks ago, you don't want to just round here and see how far you can go. All comes from the hip flexion. So you're rolling the hips forward, tilting the sit bones back, and that gives the stretch an opportunity to really expand into the back of the leg. That's where also it's absolutely crucial that you're right at the edge of the chair, because guess what? If you're here, you won't be able to stretch the leg out straight. And when you come forward, you won't feel the stretch in the back of the leg. It will be more challenging, first of all, to tilt the hips forward to get in that angle. And you might feel it here strongly into the calf, but you're not feeling anything into the leg that is squished onto the chair. So that's where it's really important to have plenty of space here underneath the leg. Now you can tilt the hips, slide out, and now you feel the stretch into the back of the leg, all the way to the back of the upper leg. And breathe. And press into that left foot to lift back up. Stretch your right arm up as you point your toes down and stretch up and back. Not leaning back, you're still forward. You're opening from the chest back, and see how far your right arm can go back as your right leg is pointing down and forward. And release, sliding your right foot in. Find that position back where your feet are hip distance apart and parallel. And let's go to the other side. Press down into the right foot, engage that right leg as a supporting leg fully. Slide your left hip back a bit. So there's a little tilt of the hips to give space for the left knee to lift. Not far up, but right above the floor. Like again, an inch, inch and a half max. And then you start that circling out. You can keep your hands on your belly and feel the action of the belly underneath your hands. Hands to the chair or holding on the chair, whatever feels better for you, or including the hands resting on your legs. And roll the circles right above the floor. The foot, the sole of the foot is parallel to the floor. Here it really helps to push down into the right foot to keep that right leg active. And make sure you breathe, because guess what? As you start feeling the action of the left leg and it's tense and it's like shaky, then suddenly you're like holding your breath. You're collapsing into the movement. Breathe fully in and out. So you still feel the expansion and contraction of the belly in your hands. Not as wide and broad as we did before, but you still feel it in your hands. Last two. And land, relax. Extend the left leg forward, flexing the foot. Right hand to your right knee. Hinge from the hips. Tilt the hips back. Tilt the sit bones back and the hips forward. And slide out and down. Left hand on top of the shin bone if you can. If not, up here, make sure you're not pressing your hand on your knee. Do not push down from the kneecap to the back of the knee. This is not a safe spot to be. It doesn't do any good to the knee joint. So you want it right above the knee, on top of the thigh, or below the knee, on top of the shin bone. And breathe. Deep long breath here. In and out. And pressing down into that right foot and right hand to rise up. Slide your left foot back in. Feet hip distance apart. Give a little sway to the spine from side to side. And then let's take a few circles out in one direction. If you get dizzy in the circling, spot with your gaze a fixed object in front of you that is not moving, and go really slow into your circle. And let's reverse and go the opposite direction, circle out. And back to center. Let's give the body a nice long stretch. Oh, I forgot one move here. Slide your left foot forward, point your toes down, and bring your right arm up and stretch up. Bring that right arm. Left arm. Left leg and left arm. Sorry. Stretch up. Try to bring that left arm back as much as possible. Feel the stretch through the left side of the belly and the body. And release. Left hand down. Now we got it. Left foot back in. Hands to the knees. Shake the leg out. Back to center. Shake your hands and arms out. And release. Sit tall. And believe it or not, we're closing the session already. You know, it's a lot of fun and time flies and we're like, what? It's already time? So close your eyes gently. Find again that right position right at the end, at the edge of the chair. And find your breath in and out of your nose. Notice the quality of your breath. Maybe you can spot, observe, notice that the breath has a different quality, different flow than the first time we did this at the very beginning of the class. Even if it's just that your sense of breathing, your awareness and alertness towards breathing has shifted. Doesn't mean that you feel any major difference in the quality of your breath and the texture of the breath, but you do feel maybe a little more connected to the flow of your breath. It's not that just instinctual, automatic process. You're tuned with the movement of the breath. And therefore, as you attune to the breath, you become more attuned also to your body. So check in with your body and see how your legs, your feet, your hips are feeling. Even if you find along the way some achiness here and there, can that achiness have a different flavor, a different texture than your usual achiness that you might be strongly mad or angry at for being there? Can you approach it with a different set of eyes and a different perspective? Just honoring that space within you that is simply and lovingly watching and feeling those different gradients of sensations, including those that are slightly uncomfortable. If you're able to access those areas that are achy without judging, without pushing them away, without being angry at them, then opens a space that you'll be able also to appreciate even deeper the areas of your body that feels at ease and comfortable and joyful and relaxed. So you're not pushing away anything. You're going from spot to spot in your body as if you were walking through a park and noticing the birds and the trees and the sounds and the different shades of light and colors. Maybe if the park has a lake, the movement of the water, and you really absorb into your surroundings and being part of those surroundings. So try to enter your body the same way and go from place to place with the stream of your breath that is constantly flowing and the ripples of sensations attached to the breath into elements and parts that are more still, but still have a quality, a shape, a story around them. And you're not just like bypassing those that are not comfortable, you're entering those places too, knowing that eventually you'll find another space that is more comfortable and more pleasurable to hang out with. And then allow those sensations as they arise and fall away or vanish. Allow yourself to be in relationship not only with your body, but with a sense of grounding through your feet and through your sit bones, which in turn allow a sense of lightness around your head, your shoulders, maybe also getting a sensation or perception of the space between your limbs. So the space between your legs, between your feet, your knees, and between your arms and your legs or your torso. To a sense of space inside the mouth, for example, where you relax your tongue and you feel the space between the tongue and the palate. And from this particular space inside the body that is quite easy to access, then you can imagine or sense there's plenty of space inside of you between your organs, between muscles and bones, into the joints. And therefore, if you sense that you feel heavy and tired and compressed and dense, come back to that sense of lightness. There's always space. Without space, nothing can exist. And take just a couple more breaths, or 3, into that deep sense of being here and now, of being mindful of who you are and how you feel right now. And let's end with a little tapping that always feels good. Starting with the belly, use your full hands to tap around as if you were playing a drum with your belly. And don't be shy, don't be afraid. The belly is really strong no matter what. There's a lot of layers of muscles here. So don't be afraid to really tap with intention and bouncing. And then start moving up on your ribs, and maybe you tap with a little less intensity and force. And you might switch from tapping the full hand to maybe more toward the fingers. And then go up the chest, and here on the chest is mostly from the base of the fingers to the fingers that you're tapping. And tap in a way that it feels good. So that's your leveraging, knowing how far, how deep, how strongly you're tapping. The variable of that is how you feel about it. Not from a head stand-off point of thinking, am I doing this right? But how you literally feel that tapping on your body, on your chest specifically, and aiming to something that feels really good. That allows the breath to spontaneously amplify. Maybe there's a thigh coming. And then move up to your face, now tapping just with your fingertips. All around the face, the jaw, a little bit on the neck, the ears. And around the head, you can go a little harder when you're tapping around the head, like skin to skull. You might even feel good to use a little bit of your nails here. They're strong enough and not too pointy to give yourself kind of a acupuncture, nail acupuncture, nail puncture. And then come back softly with the patting of your fingers on your face, coming around your eyes, and then resting your palms on top of your eyes. And allowing the warmth of your hands spread through your eyes onto your face as you come to stillness here, watching your breathing. And gently releasing your hands down. Start opening your eyes. Coming back to the presence in your room and the different objects around you in the room. Taking maybe a deep breath in and out. And we're ready to enter our week now. I'm coming to you with the microphone. I'm gonna allow microphones to get unlocked. You can turn your video cameras on if you wish. I'm stopping the recording as of now.